Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of uranium. I keep wanting to say Sprott Physical Uranium. I don't know why. I mean, it's sitting there. I just read it off, but we're doing it on uranium. I'm going to give you my financial opinion. I'm going to you are not going to use it as advice. You're going to use it for however which way you want, but not as advice. It's just my opinion. Let's get in here. I'll be the scribe today for the charts, and I'll let you know what my opinion is. So here's the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. We are coming up into some resistance. When we zoom in on this is the big long-term, big picture view. If you zoom in, you can see we're coming up. We hit our head and came back. We're coming back up again. We're getting a little bit of resistance up here. That's okay, guys. It's okay. Everything doesn't have to go straight up. I know some people get frustrated. Oh, it's not moving. It's not this. Guys, uranium's moved incredible amounts over the past 2 years. Incredible amounts. And we're breaking through resistance lines. We are going to break through this, and eventually we're going to move on higher. I mean, that's what it is. The ratios are telling us this. Everything looks really good. So what I would do is I wouldn't do anything. Even if this pulls back a little bit, it's just look at it as a buying opportunity. That's how I'm viewing it. URNM, moving sideways above support. Again, we're above support. Everything looks fine. Looking at BNNLF, again, we are above the breakout, and we've come lower. We should be more bullish on BNNLF or Bannerman if it's fallen back and we get better pricing. That's my take. Other people, oh, it's going down, I should sell. No, that's not how I view it. I view it as a buying opportunity in this range, and I cost average in. That's my strategy. GVXXF's in another good location. It's broken to the upside. It's above support here. It's above support here. You got two support lines. If it comes down here, I like it. Looking at Global Atomic, another one that looks like it wants to roll over. It could roll over. We might get another buying opportunity. Big picture view. We need to start look. Oh, I thought I was on the other one. Here we go. Here we go. So what this might be happening, and I'm going to speculate here. So let's draw this thing out a little bit, all right? And remember, uranium lags oil and whatnot. So we might be creating a pattern that looks similar to this. Or maybe we come up and do that. Now, it's not the end of the world if this pulls back and we hit $3. It's a possibility. But I'm just sharing you the possibilities of what could potentially happen. I'll leave this big chart in there for future reference. But that could be what's happening. And remember, just because you want it to go up doesn't mean it has to go up. You got to be patient, and let's just wait for these things to develop. Let it come to you. Here's another one. We can draw kind of a one down here, and I'm just throwing ideas out, guys. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily right or wrong, but that's a pattern that we could be creating, or we can move this up. We can kind of come down like this. You might have a pattern developing here that we break. You can do certain things. Now we're just looking for where the resistance and support lines are, and that is a potential big, huge flag pattern that is developing, and we could come back and move on up, or we could break and move already. Just be patient, guys. It's coming. And this is well worth the wait. The juice is going to be squeezed and squirted everywhere when we squeeze this orange here. It's going to be so worth it, in my opinion. Here's Pure Point Uranium. Some of this stuff out of there. It's just, sideways day to day. Deep yellow, it's backing out. Some of these have these like barrel patterns that are forming. This thing had a big old kind of pattern through here. This is a massive pattern that happened. It came up, it broke out, and then it did a retest and then shot higher. But looking at the short term, we've got some, I'm seeing like a breakthrough here. So it still looks really good. Paladin Energy, it's still working on its trend line. It's right at support resistance. Lows are coming up still. Sky Harbor, another one that's just moving sideways above a massive pattern. That one looks good. Canalaska is also above a massive pattern. Looking at it, it's right on top of it. This thing, remember, it's going to get a little bit of resistance through here. A lot of resistance. Once that resistance breaks, in my opinion, you have to be in it because it's going to be like two plates that are hung up on each other. They're going to, like think of it as an earthquake. They're hung up, but once that gives, it's going to slide and move very quickly. And Canalaska, it's right on top of its support. It's right in the spot that I would be accumulating shares. Next Gen Energy, another one that's kind of just, I mean, it's, let me back out here, take a bigger picture view. I mean, it's looking good, guys. It is looking good. And we broke through this big old pattern there. Break through that, and it's running. Baseload Energy, still doing good things. It's still rocketing higher. We're probably going to come up and test the dollar mark. Fission 3.0, getting a little bit more of a sell-off today. It's still looking fine, though. It's still above the long-term trend line. Fission Uranium, down a little bit. Could this come back down? It could. It very well could. Big picture, kind of a bigger picture view that we're in this big kind of barrel pattern that's expanding, a funnel. This is the funnel pattern that could break to the upside and really run. Cameco, CCJ, it's on top of its pattern here. It's wanting to run. It doesn't have the sellers, guys. Notice that. We pulled on up, and there's no sellers driving this back down. It looks quite bullish to me. This looks like it wants to go higher. Kazatomprom, basically a sideways day today. Peninsula Energy getting that sideways day. It's still sitting right there. It's waiting. It's looking at Cameco going, hey, are you going to take off? I'll run if you run. Doing that type of stuff. Boss Energy moving sideways. Again, a lot of resistance above it at about $2. Consolidated Uranium, again, below resistance. It still needs to break through it. Lotus Resources below resistance, trying to break through it. Uranium Royalty Corporation just moving sideways, kind of a hammer-looking type pattern, looking quite good there. Encore Energy, it's right on that support resistance area. UU bouncing off, hitting its head on some resistance, coming back off of it. I'm looking for, there's one low. I'm looking for a spot in here maybe. URG getting a little bit of a sell-off today. It may be pulling back a little bit. UEC, a little bit of a sell-off today, about 4%. There it is, pulling back. Again, we're in these big patterns, though, and we could be breaking at any second here. LEU, getting a little more sell-off. I think we're probably coming back to this support area, doing a retest. LTBR, we do have a little bit of selling pressure, but it still looks fine. It's still holding on. It's broken out of this big long-term pattern there. Logarithmic. It's broken out. It looks good. Lots of volume stepping in. ISO Energy. Zooming in here. A little bit of selling pressure. Today was a small up day. It looks okay. It just looks like it wants to go sideways. Appia Energy, right where I like buying it. It's a great little break out of this pattern. I like it there. Denison Mines, moving sideways. Blue Sky Uranium. Blue Sky Uranium hitting its head, getting a little bit of a sell-off. Forum Energy Metals looks like it could pull back a little bit for Forum Energy Metals. Anfield getting a little bit of selling pressure. It's coming up against resistance. Laramide, I like this general vicinity in there, guys. That's kind of where I buy. Could it come down? It could come down a little bit, maybe in this general vicinity. Western Uranium, Vanadium Corp getting a little bit more selling pressure here. I think this is going to head lower by looking at the chart and the large down selling pressure with the weaker buying pressure. This looks like it wants to head lower. UEX CF, getting a little bit of selling pressure through here. And then we came back up, and we'll see where we go next. Mega Uranium, it's holding on, guys. It's holding on. Bullish engulfing. Looks like it wants to go higher. Standard Uranium just moving sideways. ALXCF, bullish engulfing. Thought that was yesterday. I don't know what it did today. Azincourt moving sideways. Valor Metals, yeah, we could come back into this general vicinity before heading higher. And then we got Elevate. This one still looks pretty good. Broken down trend. Still looks great. And guys, it doesn't have to fill gaps. The whole gap thing, I don't know. Everyone's like, oh, it has to fill a gap. I looked at the statistic one time, and it's not 100%. Okay, it's far below 100. Maybe it's 60% or something. But remember, to fulfill that gap, it may fill that gap 20 years from now. I mean, who knows when it fills? And I don't know what they use for statistics and what they used for the gap analysis. But I don't know. I'm not the gap type. I just hold on. I don't really worry about the gaps. I'm not a trader. I'm an investor. And what I look for are long-term areas for accumulation. I don't need to get a 20 or 30% gain. I want 20x my money, 30x my money, 100x my money. I don't want 20, 30%. It's a waste of my time. That's the way that I view it. And well, you could go back and in. It's like, well, you're going to have one heck of a tax bill. You're going to have to figure out how to pay all that. And you're going to pay higher taxes. And I'm here to accumulate wealth. I'm not here to try to nickel and dime my way to become rich or wealthy, however you want to say it. I'm here to accumulate wealth and store my wealth in things that are going to appreciate in value. And these guys, some of these companies, they are very speculative, most of them, because they don't have earnings. And they're going to be building things that I think will be very valuable. And they've got uranium in the ground, which has value. That's the way that I view it. And the uranium market is one of the most volatile commodities. We are in a commodity bull market. Money's going to be rotating in, and there's not too many companies to absorb this money when it rotates in. So I think it's a decent speculative play in general. It's not value plays. They're mainly speculative because they're all most of them are developer type companies. A couple of explorers. But when the money rolls in, it doesn't have much to choose from. So if you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Check out my website. We're doing a Zoom call tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. If that interests you, sign up to the website below. You can do a monthly subscription. You can unsubscribe anytime you want. You can subscribe or unsubscribe. Up to you. You can go to these Zoom meetings. I can answer your questions. We can go over some stuff. If I don't get a lot of questions, I can start going into things that I think are valuable. So if that interests you, definitely sign up to the website. Check it out. You can always go for a month and then unsubscribe if that's what you want. That's up to you. But there's a lot of value there. I was talking about natural gas and how it's going to run. That's pretty obvious to me, at least. But yeah, that's all I've got, guys. Thanks for listening. Check you next time. Finding value.